From WFRV TV, Local 5, serving Northeast Wisconsin, including Green Bay, Fox Cities, and the Lakeshore. This is Newsmaker Sunday.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us for Newsmaker Sunday. I'm Tom Zalaski. Brown County United Way has been around for 100 years, and in that century of work, they have been working to help folks here in the Green Bay area. And joining us this morning on Newsmaker Sunday, Robin Davis, the president and CEO of Brown County United Way, and Rashad Cobb, their chief operating officer. To both of you, good morning. Thanks so much for being here.
Well, good morning, Tom. Thanks for having us.
100 years of Brown County United Way. Overall, what are you doing to celebrate?
Wow. We have a number of events throughout the year, special events. We kicked off the year with 2 events at UW Green Bay at the basketball game. So we were able to do a Miracle Minute, got out center court, shared our mission and our vision, and then we had a table set up where people could stop by, raffle tickets, etc. So we kicked it off in January, February, and then on Saturday, November 8th, we will have our Centennial Gala at Lambeau Field Atrium. So music, impactful testimonials about the work that we've been able to accomplish with our partners over the last 100 years, and then casting vision for the next 100 years.
And before we get into the nuts and bolts of Brown County United Way and everything that you do, let me find out a little bit about both of you.
Sure.
Robin, you have held several positions here in the Green Bay area over the years. How did you get to where you are now? What's the Robin resume, so to speak?
Oh gosh, the Robin resume. I'll limit it to the last, 20 years here in Green Bay. So prior to joining Brown County United Way in 2017, I was the president of Freedom House Ministries. Which is a great organization walking alongside of homeless families with children. Prior to that, I was working back in the legal field briefly as a paralegal and kind of a director of operations for a small law firm.
Okay, all right, and I'm sure there's a Rashad resume out there.
There is. So prior to being at Brown County United Way, I was at the Greater Green Bay Community Foundation. Here in Green Bay, obviously. And then what equipped me to be ready for that role was spending some time at the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Green Bay, and then also Family Services here in town.
Brown County United Way, what's your overall mission? What are you there for?
Yeah, so the mission of Brown County United Way is to unite people, resources, and ideas to co-create community solutions which strengthen every person throughout Brown County. And so the emphasis is on the co-creation of community solutions and the fact that we work with a variety of stakeholders across the community, whether it's nonprofit, business, or government. And the goal, our focus is to support, serve, and provide solutions for the 1 in 3 households that struggle to make ends meet. And if folks have been following us for the last 7 years, you know that the acronym for those households is ALICE, which stands for Asset Limited Income Constrained Employed. And so when you look at ALICE families plus those that are experiencing poverty, it combines to 1 in 3 households that struggle to make ends meet and could be one unexpected crisis away from slipping into homelessness or food insecurity, a variety of the challenges that we see, not just across our community, but also across the country.
Your funding, where's your money coming from?
Our money comes from a number of sources. We are lucky to have really fruitful relationships with workplaces. We run workplace campaigns, and then we also have good relationships with individual donors who have philanthropic spirits for some of the things that some of the issues that we're trying to address in community. So I would say it comes from a wide variety of people. We've also been lucky enough fortunate enough through some opportunities that our Chief Philanthropy Officer has found for us to also receive some state and federal funding as well.
And what do you have for staffing?
We have 14 people on staff, yes.
And are they full-time, part-time?
Yes.
They're all?
Everyone's full-time, and we could not do the work with that small, committed group of professionals, talented professionals, if we didn't have hundreds of volunteers across the community supporting our work.
Let me go through some numbers here. These are staggering numbers. I got them off your website from 2022, so I imagine the numbers are bigger now. $3.7 million in funds raised. And that is coming from where Rashad was just talking about, those philanthropic and other ways. Another one, 16,900 individuals supported.
Yeah, so through the work that we're able to do with our nonprofit partners, we see those numbers through a variety of programs that are providing service deliveries to those individuals. And as you said, those are 2022 numbers. And so as we continue to gather, analyze data, those numbers will grow. And in particular, now that we are embedded in the Joannes Park neighborhood, which is where our new facility is, the City East Center, and through the work that we're doing through our Hubcap Community Access Partnership work.
We go more in depth with Brown County United Way right after this, so please stay right there. And welcome back to Newsmaker Sunday. We are talking Brown County United Way. One more number I wanted to throw at you that I saw on your website. And this is just amazing, and you mentioned this just a couple of minutes ago. A third of the people in the county, 35,000 people in the county, struggling to meet basic needs.
Sure.
What are these basic needs that they're struggling to meet?
Well, I think if you just think about your own individual budget and what's involved there, so housing, transportation, healthcare, food. Let's see, did I say childcare?
Childcare.
Yeah, these are all, again, basic needs. When you are a working individual, a working family, or you're on that path towards employment, these are all technology, these are all your everyday expenses that really we've come to recognize are basic to how we thrive in our community.
And who are the people that you're helping? I mean, are they unemployed, employed, substance abuse, mental health issues, regular people? Who are you helping?
Everybody that you mentioned and more. It depends on a number of factors, but when we talk about, when we talk about the programs that we fund, it could be those that are struggling in one way or another, mental health, it could be veterans, seniors. When you talk about the ALICE population, ALICE cuts across every demographic that you can think of. And some numbers we're seeing growing much larger. Young people and seniors are probably the fastest growing segment of the ALICE population.
Yeah, and Tom, and I appreciate you asking a question about people's employment status as well, because I think a lot of times there are a lot of widely held incorrect beliefs about how an individual or a family can end up in a situation where they can't make their basic needs. And most individuals who find themselves in that situation are employed individuals working full-time jobs and doing the best that they can. So it's not a lack of a person's desire or motivation to work. It's just things are expensive, especially when you start layering on child care, the rising cost of housing that you see in a lot of communities. It's been people who are working, people that we know. It's our neighbors, it's our friends, it's people that we interact with on a regular basis.
Family members.
So I take it there are some people who rely on your help that just need it temporarily.
Sure. You know, just like every family, every household has its own individual story. And for some folks, it's a matter of, hey, I'm unemployed for a short period of time, or maybe a short-term illness. And then there are others that maybe you're in the midst of your education journey, right? And that takes some time, as we all know, right? Depending on the institution that you're attending, you may need that support during that journey. And then for others in our community, there are some perhaps deeper seated challenges that they're facing. And so for Brown County United Way and our partners, it spans that continuum in terms of where people are at on their journey. And our role is to help folks move from surviving or just surviving to thriving and flourishing.
Something you mentioned a few minutes ago, the City East Center. Tell me about that close to downtown Green Bay. How did that happen? When did it happen?
Wow. Do you want to talk about this?
You want to talk about how it happened, and I can talk about some of the things that
All
happened
right,
inside?
I'll talk about how it happened. So back in, actually, as we were building out our refreshed impact framework, our community investment team really identified some strategies, some new strategies for our organization that could really help us touch communities, households that we had never been able to touch ourselves. And we had talked with a couple of community partners about a neighborhood community house located right in neighborhoods where people could walk to it, or they could access programming, services, and resources outside of the normal working hours, or certainly convenient to them, where they didn't have to have a vehicle and they didn't have to rely on public transportation. And then we were fortunate, Rashad mentioned this earlier, to submit a congressional spending request to Senator Tammy Baldwin's office, and that request came in, was granted and made a part of the federal budget back in 2022 for $1 million. And that expanded our vision and also accelerated the work that we were able to do. And then Mayor Gingrich, knowing our vision, brought us together with real estate developers who were building an affordable housing development, and they needed a nonprofit partner. And there we were.
We have much more to come with Brown County United Way, so stay right there. Back now with Brown County United Way, talking about how they're helping folks in Brown County. Rashad, we were talking about the Green Bay, downtown Green Bay City Center, East Center. What role are you playing in that? Yeah,
so I have the pleasure of working alongside some staff who admit or facilitate the operations of that particular center. The role I play is really to help support her as she works with community partners to identify those who would be best equipped to meet the needs of community members in that particular area. And so what we're doing at City East is we've got a vibrant hub, and we're offering nonprofit partners in the community an opportunity to provide programming right there in the Joannes Park neighborhood. So again, it's about reducing barriers to access for community members and bringing programs and services right to where people live. We're at the intersection of about 3 or 4 different neighborhood associations, and so that's helpful as well. One of the things I'd love to highlight is our AARP tax aid program, where we're working with that particular entity to provide tax preparation for community members. And so to date, we've helped over 100 community members file taxes for free, and to the tune of about $127,000 in refunds provided to individuals. And so looking to expand that program, and in addition to that, we provide space for our nonprofit partners here in Brown County to be able to come in and deliver a variety of programs and services to the neighbors and the residents of City East.
What about your City East apartments? 43 of them. Is this low-income housing? What is that?
Yeah, it would be considered affordable housing.
Affordable
there's
housing.
a range of income levels that have to be met, and that's the result of the funding streams. So we, Brown County United Way, does not operate the apartments. However, our role is to be a resource to the residents of the apartments, and as well as the residents of the Joannes Park neighborhood. And I would be remiss if I did not mention that our first premier partner in the work at the City East Center is NWTC. So we both have an interest in reaching households on the east side of Green Bay. We're both committed to working with the Alice population, and we both recognize that education is a pathway. And so we are working with NWTC and their staff to develop programming that will really assist, again, households, individuals, adults on their pathway to learning and obtaining higher wage jobs that will sustain their families.
Your Hubcap Center, what's that?
Yeah, take it away, Rashad.
Yeah, the Hubcap is a fleet of vehicles. We're fortunate enough to have 3 vehicles, and that is really, again, about reducing barriers to access. And so that particular program, the Hubcaps, is about the Community Access Partnership. It was born out of our Advocacy Council, where we had 20 different nonprofits around the table trying to identify needs that we might be able to address. And what came to the top of the list was a need for really trying to bring the services that generally exist mostly in the Green Bay area out to the outskirts of our community. So how do you get programs and services to Wrightstown, Pulaski, and Denmark those communities where they don't have as many nonprofits as we may have here in Green Bay. And so we've been working with community partners, but first we go into communities and really work to understand their needs. We don't want to prescribe the needs of Green Bay to the needs of Wrightstown or Denmark, and so we go and work in with nonprofits, individuals. We go and talk to school districts as well, because schools tend to have a really good pulse on what's happening in communities. And then once we understand what the needs of those community members are, we come back to Green Bay and talk to nonprofit partners who then have a desire to put their programs, resources, and staff in those vehicles. And then Brown County United Way staff drives the vehicles, and we can take people out to community to deliver those services.
All right. Talking about schools, you earlier this year announced a $150,000 reinvestment program in community schools, including like Howe and Nicolay. So how do you go about creating these strong neighborhood schools?
Sure. Thanks for that question. So community schools is really is a nationwide movement that's really been led by United Ways across the country. And our organization, along with the Green Bay Area Public School District, had been in discussions for many years about how do we formalize our relationship and really raise community schools, raise the level of prominence, and more importantly, engagement in the surrounding neighborhoods. So in 2018, we entered into a formal partnership with the school district where we serve as the anchor partner and really work with the school district to develop what is the plan for implementation, scaling community schools, and we started with Howe as the flagship school. They brought on a community school navigator? Yeah, I think the coordinator. And really, Diana Delbecchi has done an amazing job of parent engagement and field trips and all kinds of strategies to really create a welcoming hub where parents want to be involved in their children's education, making it accessible. And we know schools are a hub, right? And so even if you don't have a child, the school can still be a place to gather. Right. And the success of Howe has led to the expansion of the community school partnership to now include Nicolay.
And we are back to wrap up with Brown County United Way, so please stay right there. Back now with the Brown County United Way, wrapping things up in a little lightning round bunch of questions at you, okay? You're volunteers. You had a volunteer day called Day of Action. Tell me about that.
So Day of Action, again, is a United Way worldwide event, and it's really meant to mobilize the community to give back. And so every United Way, every community decides what they're going to do during that time. It's usually in June, but this year we're going to be mobilizing in May in our partnership with the Postal Union.
Yeah, to work on the Stamp Out the Hunger initiative that that the local mail carriers union carries out. Yeah, and so we'll be a part of that, and the goal of that particular day is to bring in volunteers, educate them around food scarcity and insecurity in our community, and then follow that up by being engaged with the collection portion of the Stamp Out the Hunger program. All
right, you had a diaper drive.
Yes.
How'd that go?
So it's always wildly successful. It's why we've been doing it for so long, raising not only diapers, but also funds to purchase diapers or wipes, and really raising awareness. There's a National Diaper Awareness Week to really bring focus on the importance of diapers and the importance of supporting households that have to purchase. Diapers are expensive. If you've ever gone to a baby shower, that's like the #1 gift. And so we've been proud to be a part of the collaboration with the Greater Green Bay Labor Council. And I mean, it's hundreds, thousands of diapers that we've been able to raise each year.
Last year, I think we raised just short of 90,000, or we were able to collect up just short of 90,000 diapers, which translates to about $40,000 in savings for families in our community.
And as we get into the colder weather, we're getting out of it now, but as we go to it, blanketing Brown County.
Yeah, another long-standing partnership with the Labor Council. You want to talk about that, Rashad?
Yeah, that program will actually be in year 14 this year, working with the Labor Council. And what we've done traditionally is had collection boxes in some of our corporate partners, but we've actually made a transition. At United Way, we're trying to figure out a way to better engage youth in our community in some of the solutions. And so we've been partnering with school districts and trying to identify high schools where we can hold blanket drives at home football games on Friday nights, a way to get the community involved and get some of the football players and members of the different schools involved in providing solutions for community members.
You recently got your hands on, what, $450,000 in federal grant money for family-based child care.
Yes.
How is that money being used?
That money is being used to support the family-based child care centers, for licensing, for education, to also provide stipends for those individuals that want to go through a training program and actually become entrepreneurs themselves. Mm-hmm. So we are partnering with Sister United Way of Northern New Jersey on, they have had some very successful programs in this space. So not only opening up more slots, but also providing the support like any business needs, right? Creating community, providing support, learnings, so that these individuals can be successful. So not only providing a service, but also supporting entrepreneurship in the process.
Got about 30 seconds left. You need money. How can people help you?
Well, they can certainly go to our website and donate there. I would encourage folks to come out and join us on Thursday, April 10th at our annual celebration, because they will be able to hear more in depth about the work that we're doing, hear from our partners. We'll announce how much we've raised, car winner, and then follow us on social media, right? And find the different ways where folks can plug in. Not only learn about community challenges, but what are we doing to help bring solutions to our community.
Robin, Rashad, Brown County United Way, thanks so much for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. And if you have a newsmaker in your town who you think we should have on this program, let us know about it. Send us an email to tips@wearegreenbay.com, or you can message us on Facebook. And be sure to join us once again Sunday morning at 7:30. Until then, have a great day.